Today's discussion is on portable computers. Portable computer devices as a category share some of the same features, LCD screens and battery power being the most common. What isn't the same for all of them are size, shape, weight, and intended use. Between brands and models, you will find a great variety of video and sound quality, screen size, and other features. You will also find portable computers called by several different names: portable computers, laptop computers, notebook computers, sub-notebooks, netbooks, ultra-portables, to name a few. In general, today we refer to the whole group collectively as laptops. Laptops can come with a variety of input devices. Most have a fully functional keyboard and some kind of control for the mouse pointer. Keyboards on laptops are generally smaller than on a standard desktop keyboard due to space limitations. The non-alphabet characters are squeezed in around the perimeter of the keyboard, generally on the right side. Some of the widescreen formatted laptops also include a separate numeric keypad as well. All have various multi-purpose function or FN keys. Controlling the mouse has been addressed in several ways over the years. Early computers used a trackball attached to the right side of the laptop. The track point type device can still be found on many systems in the middle of the keyboard. Many types of mice can be plugged into one of the laptop's ports for use as in a desktop system. By far the most common pointing device today is the touchpad. This is usually found on the palm rest area below the keyboard. The mouse pointer is moved by touching the area and moving in the direction you'd like the mouse to go. Some touchpads are multi-touch, meaning they will take input from 2 or 3 points on the pad, such as zooming in or out by spreading the fingers that are touching the pad. The laptop screen is one of the largest contributors to the cost of a device. Size of the display ranges from 10.1 inches diagonally to 17 inches. Traditionally, the aspect ratio was 4:3, same as the standard for CRTs and older LCD screens. Today, the standard for 17-inch screens is 16:10 on widescreen laptops. LCD screens have a native resolution that can range from 1024 by 768 up to 1920 by 1200. A number of resolutions are supported, noted by a large number of acronyms such as XGA, WXGA, WSXGA, and so on. The W indicates a widescreen format. As with LCD monitors, laptop screens can come with different finishes, either matte or high gloss. The matte finish has been standard for years as it reduces glare. It washes out in bright daylight. The high gloss finish is newer and offers sharper contrast, richer colors, and wider viewing angles. The downside is that your screen is very viewable by those around you. Laptop screens can have LED backlighting instead of cold cathode fluorescent, twisted pneumatic technology, and in-plane switching for greater viewing angles and better color quality. You won't, however, find plasma screens or organic light-emitting diodes or OLED technology in these screens. There are different types of portable systems. A desktop replacement system is just that, meant to replace a desktop or tower computer system. These systems are larger, with a full-sized keyboard, 1 or 2 optical drives, and large hard drive capacities. Some reasons for using this type of laptop are the ability to take it out of the office, the fact that it's smaller and takes up less space than a desktop, and that performance equals that of a desktop system. On the other end of the scale are netbooks. These small notebooks generally have a 10.1-inch screen, relatively low performance, but long battery life, and specialized processors like Intel's Atom processor. They typically leave out an optical drive so data transfer occurs over networks, the internet, or flash drives. Ultrabooks, or ultralight portables, are computers that normally weigh less than 3 pounds and are less than an inch thick. These machines usually have smaller displays, lower capacity hard drives, and CPUs that operate at lower speeds than full-size systems. This class of portable computers is designed for the busy traveler who wants a nearly full-featured laptop in a small, easily transported package. Often these laptops are much more expensive than larger, faster machines. Think of it as paying more to get less. These are sometimes called sub-notebooks, although that can apply to smaller, heavier notebook systems as well. Ultrabooks generally use solid-state hard drives with their smaller dimensions and less power draw, and they omit optical drives entirely. Microsoft started the Tablet PC initiative in 2001. These were fully featured portables running a tablet-aware version of Windows and used the stylus to interact directly with the screen instead of or in addition to using keyboard input. These PCs come in 2 form factors: a convertible with a keyboard and a slate with no keyboard and touchscreen input only. These devices are often found in specialized niches in business, such as the medical field or some types of manufacturing. This type of portable does not include iPads or Android tablets, which are actually an outgrowth of mobile phone devices. Tablet PCs can be trained to recognize a user's handwriting with moderate modification. A feature called digital ink allows applications to accept pen strokes as input. Most also have a virtual keyboard that can be used with stylus or fingertip touch. The majority of portable PCs sold today fall into a category somewhere in the middle of all of these, generally referred to as notebook computers. These tend not to be as robust as desktop replacement systems, but with more features and power than Ultrabooks. Early portables lacked the ability to be easily upgraded, and individual models became obsolete rather quickly. Today, however, there are many ways to enhance your portable system. Today's laptops include a wide variety of external ports. Just as on desktop systems, laptops have audio ports for use with headphones, earbuds, or speakers, and microphones. Most laptops support a second monitor via a VGA port, DVI, HDMI, or DisplayPort. In this way, you can display Windows only on the laptop screen, only on the external monitor, or both screens at the same time. Most portables use the function key and an F key, often F4, to cycle through display options. Windows controls how the external monitor displays through the display applet. Today's laptops come with built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Ethernet RJ45 ports. Some may still have RJ11 modem ports. Bluetooth is useful as it gives you the ability to add wireless mice, keyboards, and headsets without using up an external port. The laptop may have a toggle switch to turn on or off the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth broadcasts. Another way to expand the potential of laptop systems was through the use of specialized expansion card features. Examples included PCMCIA cards or PC cards and parallel cards. PC cards were credit card-sized devices of various thicknesses that added functionality like modems, network cards, RAM, or hard drives. Laptops that used them often came with 2 slots for PC cards, and you could use 2 Type 1 or Type 2 cards, or 1 Type 3 card. Speeds ranged from 160 megabits per second to 2.5 gigabits per second for express cards. Express cards are a high-performance serial version of the PC card, and they come in 2 widths, 34 millimeters and 54 millimeters. Many laptops offer 1 or more flash memory card slots for additional storage. These include SD, compact flash, and XD slots. There may be legacy ports, such as serial and parallel ports, although these are disappearing faster from laptops than from desktops. USB, FireWire, eSATA, and HDMI ports are often found on newer laptop systems. If you don't have the necessary ports on a system, a port replicator is available. This plugs into an existing port, such as your USB port, and provides common ports like serial, parallel, network, and PS2 ports. A docking station is a step up from a port replicator. These are almost always proprietary to the brand of system they come with and provide an easy way to take your laptop in and out of the office. The monitor, keyboard, and mouse from the desktop system are connected to the replicator and the laptop connected to it for use. The laptop, in effect, becomes the desktop box for the system. Different types of batteries have been used in laptop systems over the years. The first batteries commonly used in mobile PCs were nickel-cadmium batteries. These batteries generally had poor battery memory, which was the tendency of an iCAD battery to lose a significant amount of its rechargeability after a period of time. At best, they could only be recharged about 1,000 times. They also tended to lose a charge easily if they got too cold or too hot. These batteries are toxic. They must be disposed of at recycling centers. The next generation of mobile PC batteries were the nickel metal hydride batteries. These are less susceptible to memory problems and last longer between recharges. They are still susceptible to heat, but not quite as badly. They are a popular replacement for NiCad batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are the most common type of battery used in portables and mobiles today. They are more robust than nickel battery types, often lighter, and they are completely immune to memory problems. They contain built-in circuitry to prevent accidental overcharging. Smart batteries tell the computer when they need to be charged, conditioned, or replaced. Batteries should be stored in a cool place. In fact, they can be stored in a refrigerator as long as they are wrapped to prevent condensation from building up on them. NiCad and nickel metal hydride batteries should be conditioned by using the special charger. Battery contacts should be kept clean using a little alcohol or a dry cloth. Old or used batteries should be recycled, not thrown in the trash. Always keep the battery at least 70 to 80% charged. Don't drain a battery all the way down. Rechargeable batteries only have a limited number of charges, discharges before their overall performance is reduced. All components, including the CPU and RAM, draw power when not in use. The key to power management is for the hardware, BIOS, and operating system to work together to reduce power use. System Management Mode, or SMM, is a set of features that enables the CPU to slow down or stop its clock without deleting information. It stops the CPU and all of the peripherals and requires a specialized BIOS and operating system. To extend power management capabilities further, Intel introduced Advanced Power Management in 1992 and Advanced Configuration and Power Interface in 1996. APM and ACPI require the following in order to function properly: an SMM-capable processor, an APM-compliant BIOS so that your processor can shut off the peripherals, devices that will accept being shut off, often labeled Energy Star, a system operating system that knows how to request the shutdown of a particular device. ACPI also supports hot swappable devices. Full on, no power management, everything is running. APM enabled means that the processor and RAM are running at full power. Unused devices may or may not be shut down. APM standby. The CPU is stopped but can easily be restarted. RAM still stores all the programs, and all peripherals are shut down but still loaded. APM suspend. Everything is shut down or at its lowest power consumption setting. Hibernation. This stores everything in the RAM on the hard drive before powering down. And there are several different states in each of these that you can see from the list that follows. Note, Windows overrides CMOS power settings. Vista and Windows 7 and newer operating systems offer power plans that enable better control over power use. Hibernate mode takes everything active in RAM and stores it on the hard drive before powering down. When the PC leaves hibernation, Windows reloads all the files and applications back into RAM. To maintain a laptop, keep it clean. Use an LCD screen cleaner, not a glass cleaner. Compressed air can clean out the keyboard and card slots. Avoid moisture on the keyboard, as vital components are located directly underneath it, and the laptop can be permanently disabled by dumping your soda or coffee on the keyboard. Because of the small case sizes of laptops, heat buildup is a major concern. Use your power management settings. Keep airspace between the bottom of the laptop and the surface it sits on. Don't use it on a soft surface such as your bed or a chair. When traveling with the device, use a padded case. Keep it in sight at all times. Also, remember that foreign power is a different voltage than US voltage. If shipping the system, remove any removable devices. Protect the system from theft by using a laptop lock or software tracking program. BitLocker drive encryption protects the contents of the drive from thieves. Upgrading and repair. Getting them apart is easy. Putting them back together in working order without parts, generally screws, left over is harder. Document and label every cable and screw location. Organize any parts you take out. Refer to the manufacturer's documentation and use the appropriate tools. Many manufacturers don't provide documentation to the laptop's purchaser. Instead, they expect you to rely on authorized repair centers. YouTube and iFixit.com may have some videos or helpful information for a particular brand or model of system. Parts specific to a particular model need to be purchased from the manufacturer. Generic parts, like hard drives, processor, and RAM, can often be easily found online and are much more likely to be interchangeable. Two upgrades in particular are rather easy for any tech to perform: adding RAM and replacing the hard drive. Most laptops come off the shelf with minimal amounts of RAM for the operating system that is installed. The first upgrade on many systems, therefore, is adding RAM. Before doing any work on a laptop, disconnect the AC power cord from the system and remove the battery. Today's systems use some form of SODIMM. This is usually, but not always, accessible by removing a panel on the underside of the portable. Release the restraining clips and pop out the old RAM. Insert a higher capacity RAM stick or add an additional one if an extra slot is available. Then replace the panel. SATA drives are the standard connection type in all newer laptops. This could be a traditional magnetic hard disk drive or a solid-state drive. The solid-state drive will use less power and extend your battery life. It's also faster than a traditional drive. Replacing the drive is similar to replacing or upgrading RAM. Most, but again not all, are accessible from the bottom of the case or along one edge by removing the cover. Remove the old drive and slide the new one in its place. Other parts of the system are much more difficult to replace, including the keyboard, optical drive, internal speaker, the processor, and the motherboard. Most of these are located under the keyboard connected to the motherboard. The keyboard itself is attached by a very short ribbon cable to the motherboard, and this connection is easily dislodged if you aren't careful. Many portable PCs have one or more true expansion slots for add-on cards. The more modular varieties will have a hatch on the bottom of the case that opens, like the RAM hatch, to give you access to the slot. You must avoid ESD and remove all electricity before you take out or put in an expansion card. Failure to remove the battery and the AC adapter can and probably will result in a shorted out laptop motherboard. The only other consideration with expansion cards applies specifically to wireless. Not only will you need to connect the card to the slot properly, but you must reattach the antenna connection and often a separate power cable. When you remove this card, pay attention to the placement of these vital connections. You'll find one of two types of expansion slot in a portable. The older ones, 2005 and earlier, used mini PCI because PCI dominated during that time period. Just about every portable since then uses PCI Express, so these laptops come with mini PCIe slots. Many CPUs mount facing the bottom of the portable so that the venting goes away from your hands. When sitting properly on a flat surface, the heated air also goes out the back of the laptop rather than toward the user. You access the CPU in this sort of system from the bottom of the portable. The CPU usually has an elaborate heat sink and fan assembly that includes both the CPU and the chipset. Each of the pieces screws down in multiple places, plus the fan has a power connection. Aside from the tiny screws, there's no difference here in process between replacing a mobile CPU and a desktop CPU. First, remove all the power from the laptop, including the battery. Remove the hatch to expose the processor. Remove the heatsink and fan assembly and lift out the CPU. Replace it with another, add thermal paste, and reattach the heatsink and fan assembly. Reconnect the fan power connector and you're done. Some older laptops use passive cooling and thus have the CPU pointed up rather than down. They have a heatsink beneath the keyboard that cools everything down. With that style of laptop, you remove the keyboard and heatsink to expose the CPU. Troubleshooting portables. The laptop won't power on. Verify the outlet is good. Verify the AC adapter is good. Remove all peripherals. If the screen doesn't come on properly, make sure the display is on. Press the FN key combination to activate the screen. You may have a bad inverter or cold cathode fluorescent light, which will give you a dim screen. If you plug a laptop into an external monitor and that monitor does not display, remember that you have both a hardware and an operating system component to making dual displays successful. There's usually a combination of FN and another key to toggle among the only portable, only external, and both in terms of displays. Plus, you have the display applet in the control panel to mirror or extend the desktop to a second monitor. Wireless networking doesn't work. Check for a physical switch to turn it on. If a tech has recently replaced a component that required removal of the laptop display, dead wireless could simply mean a disconnected antenna. Many portables have the antenna built into the display panel, so check that connection. You might simply be out of range, or if the wireless works intermittently, then right at the edge of the range. With Bluetooth, remember that the pairing process takes action or configuration on both devices to succeed. Turn on the Bluetooth device, actively seek it, and try again. Input problems. If none of the keys work on your laptop, there's a good chance you've unseated the keyboard connector. These connectors are quite fragile and are prone to unseating from any physical stress on the laptop. Check the manufacturer's disassembly procedures to locate and reseat the keypad. If you're getting numbers when you're expecting to get letters, the number lock function key is turned on. Turn it off. If you have a portable with sticking keys, look for obvious debris in the keys. Use compressed air to clean it out. If you have serious goo and need to use a cleaning solution, disconnect the keyboard from the portable first. Make sure it is completely dry before you reconnect it, or you'll short it out. If the touchpad is having problems, a shot of compressed air can clean it out. The touchpad driver might also need to be reconfigured. Try the various options available in the control panel mouse applet. This concludes our discussion of laptop or portable systems.